All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Model Monday Live. I am your host, TooTallToby, a certified SolidWorks expert, certified Onshape professional, and all-around 3D CAD enthusiast, wizard, instructor, kind of a jack of all trades. How is everybody doing today? And welcome to the best 3D CAD live stream that you're going to find on YouTube. In this live stream today, we are going to talk about the wonderful world of 3D CAD. We're going to challenge all of you to take a 2D drawing and turn it into a 3D model as quickly as you can, to compete against one another and to earn points on our Model Monday Live leaderboard. So how is everyone doing today? Let's get into it a little bit here. Let's say hello to everyone in the chat. Taking a look at my levels, making sure my levels are okay. I know last week, or 2 weeks ago, last episode, the music was really loud. And it made it a little bit interesting to edit out the tutorial. So hopefully this week the music won't be as loud. Aaron C in the chat says, I see a lot of new names here. Yes, I'm also seeing some new names. That is wonderful. Wonderful to see all these new names here. Let's take a look. Let's say hello to some of these new names. And let's see how everybody's doing today. So who do we got in here? We got, make this a little smidge smaller here. We got, let's see here. Jim Yu is in the chat. What's up, my man? Thank you for joining us. Great to see you in here. We got Michael in the chat saying W8ING, waiting, yes. We got Metab here in the chat, says hello, everyone. Aaron C is here, says hello. Hey, friends. Guntis is here, says hello, people. It's been great to see you, Guntis, on the speed modeling leaderboards. And someone you don't know, that, of course, is Victor K, the world champion. Switching up his screen name. I like it. Welcome. Hello, Toby and chat. And Gray is here, says peace to all. What's up? And Jern is here. PC Arduino says hello, all. Hello. And JTech23 is here. What's up? Welcome. The Vicky Chong is here, says hi. And Fire is here, says hello. Nice cup of coffee there. And Phil X DIY is here. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. And I Chigo Banca. Welcome. Hello. Thanks for joining us. Gummy is here. Hello. And Andreas is here. Hello. Greetings from Germany. It looks like everyone is, it's showing the usernames here. Is it showing that in the resolved chat? I was wondering that too. Yeah, it's showing in the resolved chats too. So I wonder if it looks like that. Yeah, it looks like that in regular YouTube as well. So instead of showing the resolved names, it's showing the @ usernames. That's interesting. So everyone's gonna have to go and change their @ usernames now in order to maintain your anonymity. And Tom Linder is here. What's up? And Pared GI Griney is here. Welcome. And @JPC is here. Says hello. Do you know about SolidWorks? No, I don't know about SolidWorks. But welcome to the live stream. All right, guys, let's get into it here. Today, we are going to introduce some of you to the wonderful world of competitive 3D CAD. And we are going to have some CAD modeling practice for everyone using any 3D CAD system. And so we're going to do 2 CAD speed modeling challenges for all of you. We're going to do some updates from the world of TooTallToby. And of course, we're going to interact with the best chat ever. And I want to, of course, say thank you so much to everyone in the community, to all the subscribers, all the super thankers, the joiners, the likers, the tutorial makers, the super chatters, the value for value people, the Practice Models Premium subscribers, all the students out there, all the sharers, all the commenters, and of course, the entire Discord crew. If you have not yet been to the TooTallToby Discord, take a look down in the description. There's a link to the Discord and join us in there. We have a lot of really good conversations in there, expanding on what we're learning here on the live stream and also in the TooTallToby app at tootalltoby.com/practice. And Noel is here. What's up? Hello. And Fusion Phil is here and says, let's go. Yes, indeed, Fusion Phil, I completely agree. And on that note, I do want to just give a quick shout out to some of the people who recently joined the YouTube channel. We were doing a promotion for a long time where we were taking people who joined at the Buy Me a Cup of Coffee level, and we were creating a custom model for them. So I haven't forgotten about you guys. We are going to start rolling out that promotion again. It's going to kind of come in a two-phase thing where we take some of the users who already had a model created, and we drop those models onto the Practice Models app. And then we also are going to be creating some new models for Carlos and for Robert and for Twisted Nexus. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, I very much appreciate the support. If you guys are out there and you like what we're doing here on the channel, there's a few different ways you can support the channel, but one of those ways is you could join as a member, and it's really just a kind of a value for value type thing. You don't get access to any unique content or anything like that. It's really more just to say thank you for what you're doing here, and we want this thing to keep rolling. So it's a great way to do it. And one thing that you can look forward to, though, is that we do run a promotion where we create a custom model just for you. So we'll create a custom model for Carlos, for Robert, and for Twisted Nexus, and then that'll get entered into the overall catalog. This is what we're going to be doing next, is we're going to be taking some of the, there's probably 20 or 30 models that we got from people who joined the channel, and we're going to be adding them to the actual TooTallToby.com/practice library. So those will live on in infamy forever. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, thank you so much to all the YouTube joiners out there. All right, guys, let's get going here. We're going to do a challenge for all of you. We're going to do a live solve where we're going to solve a model. Actually, this is not the model for the live solve, but we're going to do a top secret live solve. And before we get started, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare. And with that, let's get into it here. And we are going to be talking about how to take we're going to be challenging you to take a 2D drawing and turn it into a 3D model as quickly as you can. You're going to calculate the mass of that model based on the information in the title block, and you're going to drop that mass directly into the YouTube chat. The first person who answers it correctly is going to get entered onto our Model Monday Live leaderboard, where you're going to earn points. And the basic rules are that you can use any 3D CAD package. You got to just make sure that you can input the material density and output the mass. Make sure you use the specified precision that's shown on the question, and the first correct answer in the YouTube chat will be declared the winner. Now, the materials that we use for this challenge are listed here, and you definitely want to make sure that you get the correct materials. The materials here, you can take a screen capture, and that way you'll get the correct material density. If you don't have the material density correct, then you are not going to come up with the correct mass, or it's going to be pretty unlikely that you're going to come up with the correct mass. So make sure that you get the material density correct, and maybe, like I said, take a screen capture of what you see on screen here so that you can create those materials. In the Discord, we have a materials channel in the Discord where people post videos and libraries of these materials to make it easier if you're using FreeCAD, or if you're using Fusion, or if you're using SolidWorks, or whatever it is that you are using. All right, and here we see the leaderboard. You can earn points today. The first point that goes up for grabs is going to be available via the YouTube chat. The second point that goes up for grabs is going to be available to anyone with a free TooTallToby account. So if you're here for the first time, if you don't have a free TooTallToby account, visit us at TooTallToby.com sometime between now and the next 20 minutes, and that way you'll be able to compete in the second half of the show as well. All right, and the advanced rules are: this is meant to be fun and good-spirited. Occasionally, I make mistakes, and the Ivan exploit is permitted. If you're not familiar with the Ivan exploit, we do have a video possibly coming out sometime in the next few weeks or months. So be on the lookout for that Ivan exploit video, and here we go. Guys, your first challenge is going to go live as soon as this 2D print goes full screen. So let me flip over to full screen here, and we can see here that the challenge, let me just resize this so that it looks good here on the screen. So this challenge is going to go live in, hold on a second here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go. So what is the mass of this part in XX.XX pounds? This is a model that is solved in pounds and is also modeled in inches. So if you are from the United States, or maybe some other areas of the world, you will be familiar with these units. I did try to kind of size this thing up so I could stay away from 1/8 inch and 16-inch measurements. But you can see here, what is the mass of this part in XX.XX pounds? You can calculate that mass, and you can type that directly into the chat. This part is called large raised sleeve. And you can take a look at that 2D print. And while you guys are looking at that, I'm going to be getting something ready here for us. JPC says easy model. Well, we're going to see here, Jay, how easy it is. We're going to see if you can come in and get that answer correct and be the first one to get it correct. So good luck to you. I like that. Strong words. But you're up against some of the former world champions here. You're up against the current reigning Model Monday Live champion. So it may not be as easy as you think to earn that point. But good luck. Let's see how fast you can do it. The cool thing about being here at Model Monday Live and being here in the TooTallToby community is that you will learn a lot of wonderful time-saving shortcuts so that this part really not only will be easy, but you'll be able to get it fully constrained with the correct material in a very short period of time. And that is a skill that you can use all throughout your CAD career. You know, anytime you're modeling something up, if you can just look at this 2D print and you can say, I'm going to start on the front plane and I'm going to create a tombstone shape, or I'm going to start on the right plane and I'm going to create an L shape. As soon as you have that, you know, as soon as you see the model, you can kind of start coming up with that plan. That can be a really nice habit to get into. It can save you a lot of time, and it can make you valuable to your company and to your customers. You know, if you're able to create these fully constrained models kind of almost right in front of them while you're sitting there on a web meeting with them, that is something that can really impress and help get you some repeat work. So good luck to everyone. This is kind of a fun model here, and probably not the hardest model. It's tier 4. It's probably really between like a tier 3 and a tier 4, low tier 4 we'll call it, but definitely a fun one. All right, so I'm going to leave this up on screen here just for about 20 more seconds, and then once I'm done with that, I'm going to be pulling this off the screen, and that way you guys can, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world of TooTallToby. Look at this, Matab, who's been crushing it in the speed modeling scene, already coming in with an answer. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. So, and we see Aaron C coming in right behind. Guys, I haven't even taken the model off the screen. And JPC coming in here saying he's coming up with a mass as well. So I haven't even taken the model off the screen yet. And these runners are already coming in with answers. That is super impressive. That is a super fast solve time. So Jay, well done, my friend. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right, let's keep going here with today's presentation. We are going to be talking a little bit about the world of TooTallToby. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the news, the world of CAD news. And of course, don't forget, guys, if you're enjoying this, if you enjoy these kinds of competitions, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, share and reshare. And if you really enjoy what we're doing here, you can support the channel by signing up for an account. You can sign up for an account at TooTallToby.com. You can tell your coworkers about the channel. We have lots of these challenges over at TooTallToby.com. But yeah, you can join the party on Practice Models Premium. Practice Models is an app that we developed last year and that we've been continuing to develop throughout the year this year. And there's lots of cool functionality that we'll talk about on there in just a few moments. You can also become a joiner on the YouTube channel, or you can visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. If you like what we're doing here and you want to keep this train rolling, you know, we definitely appreciate the support. We're primarily funded by our users, a little bit of advertising here and there, but mainly we're funded by our users. So it really says a lot that you guys think that what we're doing here is worth value and that you guys are willing to send some value back. And we really, really appreciate it and are glad that you're getting some value out of our tools and out of our solutions. So I saw in the chat, we had AISINDAUREN says hello from Kazakhstan, everyone. Hello, my friend. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Great to see you in here. Great to see these answers coming in. I really like seeing all these answers coming in and enjoying the chat. Guys, we had a tournament a couple of months ago, and over the past 2 weeks, we released all these highlight videos, and these things have become really popular. So I just want to give a huge shout out to Ricardo, Jean, and to Atse for being in the finals. And you can see here that the first video that we released of that series got 136,000 views, came out 2 weeks ago. And all the other videos as well really have been doing well from that series. So we're going to try to do the same thing, kind of go back. I've been, waiting for this opportunity to kind of highlight some of our tournament finalists over the years. You know, there's always that moment after the tournament is complete where I kind of I'm not sure if it's the right time to release the highlight videos yet, but it feels like we're in the right moment now. So look forward to seeing some of the other tournament finalists. I'll release them kind of in this same format. And if you're out there watching watch, and be sure to check out the tournament finalist videos. Be sure to share them with your coworkers. It seems like people are really enjoying these videos, this video series, and man, what is there not to enjoy? This was such a great finale between these two wizards, and going 4 matches really made it go big. So that was a lot of fun to see too. So congratulations to our finalists, and if you're out there and you haven't seen these videos yet, be sure to watch them. Be sure to send them across to your network. Share them on your text messaging with everyone in your family. You know, whatever your network is, be sure to get out there and share them. Of course, we want to give a huge shout out to our champion, Ricardo Jean, who won the whole thing. Congratulations to Ricardo. That was a lot of fun to watch. And that kind of rolls us into our next tournament. So the next tournament is going to be the Variety CAD tournament, the Summer Open. It's also known as the Summer Open in our back end. The Summer Open tournament registration is currently available. To qualify, what you got to do is speed model these 3 parts here, and then what you can do is you can actually post a video of your speed run. So this is live here. This is on the website TooTallToby.com, and if we go into tournaments and we go to the tournaments page, you can see here, you can click here to qualify for free. Well, here we see the current leaderboard for the for TooTallToby.com/variety, the Variety CAD tournament, the Summer Open. Here you can see it's the Summer. It's also known as the Summer Open. And you can see here all the different runners who have submitted videos. So we've got a sub 4-minute video here from a Fusion user, a sub 5-minute video here from an Onshape user. We got a sub 3-minute here from Matab. That was an absolutely epic run, Matab. Ricardo Jean, Ricardo Salado, the champion from the Spring Open, has also submitted a video here using SolidWorks. So this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see a lot of different CAD systems here. We got some free CAD users in here. And guys, remember, don't worry if you're not in the top 8, because we're not just taking the top 8. We're taking the top 8, but we're only allowing for 2 of any one CAD system. So we'll take these two runners here if they both qualify and nobody beats them using SolidWorks. But that means they're going to be blocking out this runner, the 3rd runner. So then we'll go on to the first Fusion user and the first Onshape user, and then the next Fusion user, the next Onshape user, and then those CAD systems will be blocked out. And that's going to give us a minimum of 4 different CAD systems and possibly more. You know, I don't think there's more than one Compass 3D user, but this user here, Lotos, has been totally crushing it. And so it'll be good to see, like, he's got another one here in sub 5 minutes doing all 3 models. So it's going to be a really fun tournament. We're going to see a lot of variety in the different CAD systems. I'm looking forward to it. And if you know anybody out there who's a CAD wizard, be sure to encourage them to visit us here at TooTallToby.com/variety so they can get signed up and qualify for free. All right, and as far as training goes, guys, we do offer a lot of training here with TooTallToby. So if you're ever at a company that needs training, we have some training solutions available on our website. We have we call it the Zero to Hero program that's available on our website. And the Zero to Hero program is how you can go from a complete novice to a certified SolidWorks professional in just 30 days. So if you're out there and you're a SolidWorks user and you want to learn from a SolidWorks expert, you want to learn from a SolidWorks instructor, certified SolidWorks instructor, well, we've got these training classes posted here for you to go from knowing nothing about SolidWorks to being an absolute SolidWorks wizard, even getting a certified SolidWorks professional examination under your belt. So this is a Zero to Hero training program that we offer. It's actually a little bit cheaper than this. If you use the Zero to Hero code, you can get a little bit of a discount here. And that's all available over at TooTallToby.com/training. And beyond that, if your company ever needs training, if you need sheet metal training or weldman's training or any kind of training in SolidWorks, you can reach out to Vicky at TooTallToby.com, and we can work with you and figure out what you need and what is the best path to get you there. So if you're ever interested in getting some training, let us know. But if you're specifically interested in getting certified as a SolidWorks professional, well, we have the solution for you over at TooTallToby.com/training. So check that out. And beyond that, what else we got going on in the world of TooTallToby? Well, we did talk about this a little bit earlier in the live stream today. There is a new partnership here between the Practice Models app and Model Monday Live. So what is the Practice Models app? Well, the Practice Models app is something that's very similar to what we're doing here today. It's an app that's available at TooTallToby.com. So you go TooTallToby.com, you go play and learn practice models. And what you can see here is that this is a library of 2D to 3D CAD challenges. So let's say I go to this challenge here, the Tier 4, this 24-03-02. Well, what I can do here is I can say click here to begin, and then I can say reveal drawing. And this shows me a 2D drawing with a question. What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? What is the mass of this part in XXXX grams? And I'm going to try to calculate that mass and type it in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and enter. And oh, nope, that is incorrect. The clock is still running. And so the cool thing about these challenges is that because we're running these against a clock and because it's based on your username, well, there's going to be a record, a history of all the people who have run this. There's going to be an opportunity for people to create a speed run video. So look at this. Gummy is in here, did a speed run video using Onshape, and Matab is in here, did a speed run video using SolidWorks. And you can watch those videos from the community. If you get stuck, that could be a really nice resource to help you get unstuck from that challenge. We can also see here the first 42 people who have completed this challenge. And we can see the top 100. So the top 100 people that have completed this challenge and how fast did they complete this challenge. So it's pretty cool here. We got some different gamification, some different leaderboards. Of course, every time you finish one of these challenges, and there are quite a few of these challenges, well, every time you finish one of these challenges, you're going to get a point here on the community scoreboard. And we can see that currently the max number of points here on the community scoreboard is 192 models. So Min Watex always seems to be at the top of that leaderboard. Must have some kind of a secret code there to get up to the #1 slot in that leaderboard. But Min Watex, Nova John, Rich Penn, you can see we got users from all over the world using all different CAD systems. And this is a great resource for you to kind of practice your CAD skills, to enhance your CAD skills, to get better and better at 3D CAD. And so what we do is each month we release more and more of these challenges, and we really try to increase the variety of these challenges as we release them. You can see there's everything here from 3D printed parts to assembled multi-body parts to woodworking parts. We really try to give you a lot of variety because, you know, at your job, you might just be doing the same thing every day, the same types of parts every day. And the Practice Models app is really going to help you kind of get out of that groove, get out of that grind, and mix it up a little bit and challenge yourself to create some new model types. So if that's something that you think is interesting, you can get started for free today. Visit us at TooTallToby.com. And then once you go to TooTallToby.com, you'll be able to sign up for an account. You get over 180 models. You get access to all this cool gamification. And over the past couple of months, we made some other updates, including the featured challenge practice model. And we're going to be using that in just a few moments here. We're going to be showing how to use that featured challenge practice model. But basically, this gives you all of the benefits of premium for free on these selected models, these special models that we've curated for you. And what we're going to do in the second half of the show here is we're going to challenge all of you to complete one of these free practice models challenges, one of these featured practice models challenges. And I'm going to finish one of these. I'm going to do one of these challenges right along with you. And then finally, probably my favorite element of this is a new enhancement we did last month, which is the first 42. And what this shows you is the time that a model was released, and then it shows you who was the first person who completed that model since it was released. So if we take a look at, for example, this model here, which I showed everybody a couple of weeks ago, when we look at this model here, we can see that that right here where it says first 42, the model was released at 1:35 p.m. So it was released during one of these Model Monday live streams. And we can see here that it was Rambro's Workshop who finished the model at 1:39 p.m., 13:39. And 18 seconds. So he finished it within about 4 minutes and 14 seconds from the time it was released. And it's a lot of fun to see that first 42 and see how that works. And we are going to all see a live demonstration of that in just a couple of minutes here when we go into the second half of the show today. So that is the Practice Models app. If you're out there, if you're watching, or if you know somebody who wants to get some extra practice model practice in, 3D CAD modeling practice in, have them visit us at the website. It is $8.99 a month if you buy it for 1 month, $7 a month if you buy it for 6 months, and $12 a month, or sorry, $5.83 a month if you buy it for 12 months. And that works out, of course, to $69.99. Gotta have those meme numbers in there. So with that, we are going to take a look at our answer to that first challenge. But of course, we have to say thank you so much to our back-end developers, Bodie McBoatpants and Hubie3DFX, who really make all the magic happen on the website. If you ever see those guys in chat, or if you ever see them in real life, buy them a cup of coffee. They are a couple of fantastic guys who really have done a lot to help us make this website what it is. So thank you so much to Bodie and to Hubie3DFX. Couldn't do any of this without you. All right, guys, again, be on the lookout here. When we get to the second half of the show, you're going to need a free account at TooTallToby.com. Make sure that you sign up for that free account, and that way you will be able to participate in the second half of the show. And the final thing I want to say, and I know I said this earlier, but be sure to visit us on our Discord. There's a lot of great discussions that happen in that Discord, and I think it's awesome that everyone is in there so willing to help and so willing to help each other. All right, guys. Well, that's it for now. And let's now talk about this first challenge. Don't forget, this is a great opportunity to hit the like button. What do we got in here? We got 56 people watching. What is our like ratio? Let's take a look here. We got 27 likes. All right, that's pretty good. It's about halfway there. So let's hit that like button. Let's get that up. 57 watching, 28 likes. Let's see what we can do to get that like count up. We want that to be right at 1-to-1, if not more. If we can overload that, that's even better. And don't forget to share. Send this out to everyone in your group chat. Send it out to all your family members. Send it out to all your friends, your coworkers. Just do an email, everyone at XYZ Brackets. Send it to the whole company and say, guys, I can't believe you're not watching this channel. You got to watch this channel. It's so amazing. And of course, if you want to support financially, we do have some avenues to do that as well. And we really appreciate everyone who has signed up for that support. Very, very helpful. All right, guys, the answer to the first challenge here, this is kind of a cool challenge. I would probably model this. I would probably come in here, create a line over at 9, create a line up at 6, and then create a second line up here at 2.5, this radius here, 2.5. Then I would create a line over here at 1, a line down, a line over, and then another line down at 1. And once I got that shape in place, I would extrude that out mid-plane, kind of give me that symmetric shape there. I would add on these radii here. I would probably try to take note that this radius here is 1.75 and this distance back is 1.75. This 2.75 here also will put that radius right at the center of that arc for the slot. So that'll make it really easy for me to draw that slot. I can just bang, bang, draw that slot in there right from the centers of those radii. So that's going to set me up nicely for that slot. Then I could add a full round fillet up top here for this radius 2.5. I could maybe get up top here and create this extrusion, sketch a circle here and extrude it out. Maybe make that distance 5 - 1 to quickly get that depth to the correct depth there. Maybe use a hole wizard tool to add in this counter bore, or the hole tool to add in that counter bore. And then finally, I would get in here and sketch in this rib as just a single line and then rib that up. And that'll be that. Assign the material, measure the mass, and what will we come up with? Well, that is the question. What did we come up with for the mass? And the answer to that question is we had people answering before I even took this thing off the screen. The first answer came in from Matab, 32.15, Aaron C, 32.15, Jay, 32.15, Rambros Workshop, 32.15, Gray mixing it up, 32.9, I like it. Dom Linder, 32.15, Gray revising, 32.15, nice. Victor K, 32.15, we like that. Gummy getting in here, 32.15, Paragene coming in, 32.15, we like it. And we got PCR Duino coming in 32.15. We got Guntis coming in 32.116, 32.12. I like that as well, mixing it up. We got Jim Yu coming in 32.15, and the correct answer is 32.15 pounds plus or minus 0.00 or 0.03. So that means Guntis really would have been in there, right? 32.116, which becomes 32.12. Which would have been within tolerance. Nice work, bro. Snuck in there right within tolerance. That's what we like to see. But the winner of the point for this first challenge on this episode of Model Monday Live is going to be none other than our friend Matab. He's a speed modeling wizard. He makes tons. He makes speed models for almost every practice model. Almost all 190 of them he's made a speed modeling video for. And it's awesome to click through and to see those speed modeling videos populated in the app. So thank you so much to Matab for all that hard work. And congratulations, earning your point today. He gets the first point from this episode of Model Monday Live. Well done, my friend. Well done. Well done. Guys, put a GG in the chat for Matab. If you're a member of the channel, then you will have the special emotes for him. But GG to Matab. Well done, my friend. Well done. Well done. All right, guys, and that is going to move us on to our second challenge. And like I mentioned earlier, this second challenge is going to be a special challenge because it's going to take place over at TooTallToby.com. If you go to TooTallToby.com/practice and you look up at the top of the screen, you're going to see that there is going to be a section called practice models featured model. And what's going to happen now is that we are going to be refreshing this page. So you go TooTallToby.com. And once you go to TooTallToby.com, you're going to see here that you can say get started, or you could say play and learn, or you could log into your account. And you're going to see that in practice models up at the top, there's a special section for featured practice models. Well, what we're doing right now as we speak, I've got my team of admins in the background working, my team of producers, I should say, in the background working to release the next model. So currently you can see there's only one featured model challenge on here, but if you hit the refresh button, you'll see that now there's two, and this challenge is now live. So this challenge is called 25-06-10, and while all of you are out there trying to solve this one, I'm going to solve it here live on screen for all of you. So good luck to everyone as you are trying to solve this challenge. I'm going to race right along with you, and we are going to try and solve this sort of together. We're going to do this as a live solve here, sort of together. But what we're going to be doing here is we are going to be trying to solve this one right now. So welcome everyone to this live solve. We're going to be using Onshape to perform a live solve here. You may notice that over on the left, you'll see some live chat coming in because our users are attempting to solve this model as well live. And we're going to try and solve it right here for all of you using Onshape. So welcome to this Onshape live solve. Today is Monday, June 30th. We are here in a live episode of Model Monday Live, and let's get into it here. We're going to go to TooTallToby.com. We're going to go here to get started. And once we go into get started, we see here it says featured challenge practice models. These are models that are available for anyone with a free account. And we just released this one just about 1 minute ago. And so now all of the users in our chat are trying to go through and trying to solve this. We're going to try and solve it here live for all of you using Onshape. So I'm going to say click here to practice. And I'm going to come down to the bottom here. We see the skills tested are going to be draft, patterns, revolve, slot tool, symmetry, and thin walls. We got a lot of skills that we could potentially be tested on in this challenge. We're going to say click here to begin and reveal drawing. What is the mass of this part in xxx.x grams? Now we are running against the clock, and we're trying to model against the other people here that are trying to compete, that are watching the live stream here live. However, I always think it's a good idea to kind of start by coming up with a game plan. So I'm going to click this button that says open in new window, make this thing just a little bit larger, a little bit easier to see. And now I'm going to start thinking through kind of what some of the different areas of this challenge are going to be. So one of the first things we always advise our students to do is start out by coming up with the location of the origin and what your very first sketch is going to look like. And so I think for me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to approach this thing as a revolve, and I'm going to put my origin down here. And so my first sketch is going to look a little something like this. It's going to come over, up, over, and then it's going to come down like this. So these red lines here are going to be my first sketch, and I'm also going to add a center line, because if I add a center line, that's going to let me do what are called doubled dimensions. And I'm going to use that for dimensions like this 40 dimension here, or like this 120, the max OD. I'm going to include that as a double dimension as well. And so I'm going to be using that double dimension, that revolve sketch, and that's going to get revolved, that it's going to give me kind of this main shape here. Now, the challenge is going to be that now that I've got this main shape and it's all solid, how do I model up these little tabs here, this little tab that comes over and down? How do I model that up? And I think that the solution here, it's a little bit tricky, but I think the solution here is going to be to do that not as a solid feature, but do it as a cut feature. So I think that my second sketch is going to look something like this. I'm going to come up here and over here like this, or maybe I missed that one line there a little. I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to come down here like this. In fact, I could even make that second sketch just a rectangle, and then I could add this 20 dimension here, again from a center line, and add this 20 dimension here, and then I could perform a cut extrude that goes up and into the model and kind of hollow that out a little bit. And that's going to give me a sharp corner right here that I could maybe fill it, and a sharp corner here that I could fill it. I could even at this point add in the hole if I wanted to and do a pattern, or I could do that hole as a secondary feature and just add all four. We'll see what I end up doing there with that one. And then finally what I'll do is I will create one final sketch which will represent this kind of interior shape here. You can see that in this interior shape we've got a 6mm wall and a 6mm wall. So I think my final sketch is going to look a little something like this. I'm going to come down, over, all the way down at an angle, back in, and then up like so, and cut that thing off and just revolve that thing. So that's my game plan. I know that I took a couple of minutes to do that, 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I know that we're on the clock here. I know that we're battling against these wizards in the chat. So I'm going to go into my keyboard cam here so you guys can see all the keyboard shortcuts that I'm using. I'm going to move this drawing over onto my second screen, and I'm going to jump into Onshape and see if I can solve this thing. So here we are in Onshape, and I'm going to choose to create a new document here in Onshape. Oops, let me put this up here. And I've already come up with the game plan. I think it's really important to start with a game plan. If you agree, hit the like button on this video. And once I've got that game plan in place, now I'm ready just to execute on that game plan and follow those steps. So I'm going to say create document. I'm going to call this 25-06-10, and I'll call this Coney part. And this is going to be stored here in the public space in Onshape. So if you have a free Onshape account, onshape.com/free, you could look up my model, you could make a copy of it, and then you could start poking through the feature tree. You know, if you ever get stuck, even if you're using a different CAD system, if you ever get stuck, that's going to, that's going to help you out. That's going to make it a lot easier for you to get unstuck when you can see somebody else's completed 3D model. So 25-06-10, Coney part, create public document. And the first thing I'll do here is just go into my this hamburger menu here. And the only reason I do this is just to make sure that my units are correct. Now, I know that in my Onshape profile, my default units are millimeters and my default mass is grams. But just in case you didn't know how to change your workspace units, now you know. And let me know down in the comments if you didn't know how to do that. And so now I'm going to follow my game plan. Front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal 2, S key to begin a line, single click, move a line over here, approximately 60 millimeters. I'm not going to dimension this because I'm going to do that with a double dimension. Then I'll come up here, and this one I will dimension. That's going to go up to a height of, you know what, I think I'm going to bring this up to 6. And then I'm going to create another line here that comes up to 8. And you'll see in just a moment why I'm doing that. Mainly what I want to do is I want to set myself up so that I can create an offset plane here right to that point. Now, I know all the Onshape users are going to say, you don't have to create a plane. You could just extrude from that offset location. And you're right, I could do that, but I think I'm just going to do it with an explicit plane just to make it a little bit easier to kind of understand what's going on. So come up here like so, create that second line there. One of those lines is at 6, one of those lines is at 8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another line here that comes over, one that comes up, one that comes over, and then I will close off that sketch. Now I am going to make an additional line down below here, and for this line I'm going to press Q, and that changes that line into a construction line. And the reason that's important is because now I can hit escape, press the S key, press dimension, and then I can dimension from this point to the line itself. And now you'll see that here I can cross over that line. So when I made that pick on the point, it doesn't matter if I pick the point or if I pick the line, but here I have to pick the line. If you pick the end point or the end point, it's not going to work. You got to pick the line. So I pick that line, I move my mouse over that line, and then I click in the background, let go of my mouse, 120, enter. I pick this line, this point here. I pick this line. I move my mouse over that line, and that gives me that doubled dimension, which is really handy when you're doing revolved parts. 40, enter. And then I'm going to pick this line down here and this line, single click in the background, 105, enter. And then finally, I'm going to pick this line here and this line. I don't think I can do a doubled angle dimension in Onshape, at least not yet. So I'll just drop in this angle here and I'll type in the total angle 20/2. And there we go. If anybody out there knows if there's a way to make that double in the sketch without having to draw the extra line over there, let me know. I would love to know, and I would love to learn how to do that. So now that I've got that geometry in place, now I am going to choose to revolve. So I'm going to go here to revolve. And once I go to revolve, I'm going to say that I want my entire sketch to be used. So I don't really have to pick anything in this box, but I do have to come down here and pick in this box for revolve axis. And then I can either choose the construction line or the solid line here. I'll choose the construction line. That just feels intuitive. So I hit the check mark, and now I'm going to go back to that sketch 1, and I'm going to show that sketch 1. And once I show that sketch 1, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick this plane. So I pick the top plane, and I'm going to pick this point. Remember I made that sketch where the first line was 6 and then the second line was 8? Well, I'm going to pick that point there. So you can see that my cursor is showing me that I've got 2 things selected. Well, now that I've got those 2 things selected, I can choose reference geometry plane, or I can choose the plane command here. And Onshape is smart enough to realize, oh, you're probably trying to make a plane parallel to the top plane and coincident to that vertex. We call that a plane point. So I didn't have to go into this list here and choose what type of plane I want to create. It just automatically knew because I picked a plane and because I picked a point, plane point, so we can hit the check mark. So that workflow can become really streamlined. If I click cancel there, nothing is selected. I pick this point, I pick this plane, S key, plane, green check mark. Boom. Now I've got a plane exactly where I want it. And so now I can pick on that plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key to get normal to, S key, jump into a rectangle command. I'm going to create a rectangle here that's going to go from here to here, like so. And the distance for this rectangle is kind of arbitrary. What you could do is you could hold Alt while you're sketching this. And what that does is instead of making a rectangle, it makes this a square. So that's like a little hidden shortcut in Onshape. You can hold Alt when you're making a rectangle. And then when you click in the background, you let go of your mouse, you let go of Alt, and then you type in the distance. Again, this is going to be arbitrary, so I'll just type in 100. It really doesn't matter what that distance is. All I need to do is make sure that that rectangle is over here on this side of the sketch. And so then what I can do is I can choose to create a line, so S key line from the origin, come over here and I'll press Q, makes that construction. Then I'll do another line here from the origin straight down, press Q, make that construction. And then what I'll do is I will create a dimension here that goes from this line to this line and cross over. Now this isn't really a revolve, it's not really a diameter, but what's nice is that I can type in the full value there of 20. So I'm going to do the same thing over here, click here, cross over to here, type in the value there of 20. And what's nice about that is that, you know, again, it's not a revolve, it's a mirrored part or it's a patterned part, but it's pretty cool that you're able to take your geometry and you're able to actually create that doubled information when you anticipate doing a mirror downstream, or when you anticipate doing a pattern, a circular pattern downstream. So that is the smart dimension on that. I love in the chat, I see Victor K says, wow, I learned something new. That's awesome. I'm very glad that you were able to learn here. Victor K is an absolute master in Onshape. So always nice when we're able to teach him, to show him something new here. And I'm assuming that that's probably the Alt shortcut for those rectangles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that geometry and I'm going to extrude it. So S key extrude, this is going to be a remove, and I'll say reverse direction here. And that extrude is going to go up to 66 minus 6, or I could create a reference up there, something like that. But I'll just do 66 minus 6 to account for that 6 millimeters down at the bottom. And there we go. That gives us that cut there. Now what I could do is I could take this edge here, S key fillet, and drop a fillet here on this edge. We'll make that fillet a radius of 10, enter, and on this edge here as well, make that a radius of 10, hit the check mark, and then I could jump into a circular pattern here in Onshape. So when I jump into the circular pattern here in Onshape, what I could do is I could say I want this to be a feature pattern. Remember, you got to go up to the top here and fly out this menu when you're doing a pattern. Fly out that menu and you can choose feature pattern instead of part pattern. Feature pattern, and then the feature that I'm going to pattern is going to be that rectangular cut. So we're going to create a pattern of that rectangular cut. And what's that going to end up looking like? Well, let's click in here. We'll take a look in here at this axis of pattern, and we'll choose this circular edge here. And there we go. We can kind of see what that's going to look like. And then we also want to pattern our fillet. So up here where it says features to pattern, you want not only that cut, but you also want the fillet to be selected there. And then finally, whenever we see red here, we see we've got red in the tree, and we see we've got red over here in the pattern. That's indicating that the pattern is not going to work. And you guys might remember, we've talked about this before, if that ever happens, if you ever do a pattern in Onshape and it doesn't work, the very first thing you want to do is just click this option here for reapply features. Because in my experience, probably 95 to 98% of the time, just clicking that reapply features resolves the issue. Really simple resolution there to that issue. So you just click reapply features, the red goes away, the pattern previews correctly, we hit the check mark, and oh yeah, that part is looking good. I'm liking that. So you'll notice here that we showed this sketch here, this sketch that's kind of running down the side. Let me come over here to the name of the part, right click. I'm going to say edit appearance. And then once I say edit appearance, I'm just going to make this look a little bit more like the part that the customer gave us. That also makes it a little bit easier to see this line. So you'll notice that earlier we showed this sketch so we could reference this point, but I left the sketch shown. And that's going to help me because now I could go into front plane, S key, begin a sketch, N key, get normal 2. And now what I can do is I can kind of finish off that plan of hollowing this thing out. So I'm going to do S key, begin a line. I'll create a line here that starts here. I want to be careful, right? Don't pick up the midpoint, because this has a dimension. It's a 20 millimeter opening. So don't pick up the midpoint. Move over a little bit from that midpoint. Single click, I can move down. I could single click. I could type in 6, enter. I could move over this way, single click. I can move down at this angle. Sometimes you can, if you just hold your mouse over another line, like if I hold my mouse over this line that was shown here earlier, you can use that to kind of trigger the relationship. So I see now I'm getting that nice parallel relationship for that line. So I can make that parallel, have it come all the way down here to the point where it's horizontal to the origin. So I'm getting parallel and I'm getting horizontal, or coincident to that bottom line. You know, either way, it's going to give me what I want there. But it's important you just picking up on that parallel. Single click, move over here to the origin. Single click, move up to the top here. Single click, and then I'll make close this thing off with one final line across the top here, like so. And then I'll make one more line, and we'll make this one vertical, and we'll press Q again. And the reason we're doing that is for the same reason we did it earlier. We make that line construction because it allows us to create a dimension here that goes from this line to this line and then cross over that line. And that way we can type in the dimension that the customer gave us, which is 18 millimeters through. So that gives us that 18 millimeter hole through the top. And then all we need to do is add in this dimension here for the other 6 millimeter wall. Boom, there we go. Very nice. And now we can take that geometry and do a revolve. So revolve, just like we did earlier, we did a revolve. Our revolve axis is gonna be, so we click here, from here, we click down here into this box, come down there. So our revolve axis is going to be this axis here, and then this time it's going to be a remove. So in Onshape, when you're adding material, it's add. When you're removing material, it's remove. It's all in that one single command. That's nice because then later on, if you wanted to, you could change a remove to an add. You could edit a feature and change that from one to the other, or even change it into a surface or some other type of feature. So I'm going to be doing a remove here, click the green check mark, and there we go. And then the final thing I'm going to do here is I'm just going to hide that original sketch. So hide that sketch there. I could also press P if I wanted to hide my planes. So I could press P here. That lets me hide my planes. And then once I do that, then what you can see here is that I can choose the whole command. And in the whole command, this is going to be a countersink. And what I like to do is I just like to use the tab key here. So I click down in this box that says diameter. This box right here that says diameter, and then I type in the diameter from the drawing, so that diameter is 7 millimeters through, and then I press tab, 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 and this is going to be 14 millimeters for the OD of the countersink, and then tab, and then this is going to be 90 degrees. So I like using the tab key to go through and kind of quickly populate those whole tables or those whole property managers. And then the other thing that I'm going to do here is here where it says sketch points to place holes. Well, instead of using sketch points, I'm going to click this button, which is to use the mate connectors. So I click this button here, and then that lets me just go out and pick the center of each of those arcs. So you just kind of put your mouse out there until it highlights in the correct location, and that's going to let you quickly pick the center of each of those arcs. And then we can hit the green check mark, and wow, that's looking good. So I think it's a real testament to Onshape that, you know, week after week we come in here and we create these tutorials live. We do these live solves, and you know, Onshape never crashes or anything like that. It's never locked up on me while I'm doing one of these live solves, and we're always able to kind of get through, even though sometimes we run into hiccups or things like that. We're always able to get through. We're able to learn new things about the platform, about Onshape, and it's just a lot of fun to be able to kind of demonstrate this here live for all of you guys week after week. So the final thing we need to do here to get this answer correct, because the clock is still running, we need to come over here. We need to click on the name of this part. We need to say assign material. And this material is going to come from the custom TooTallToby materials library. Now, I do have a video on how to access or how to create your own custom materials library and how to access the library that I've posted. But from the custom TooTallToby materials library, this part is made from 1060 aluminum. We're going to hit the green check mark, and then we're going to come down here in the corner, and we're going to click on this icon to measure the mass. So the mass of this part is going to be coming out at 330.3 grams. So let's go back into the TooTallToby app here. And here we go. We're going to type in the mass here, 330.3, and enter. And oh yeah, we did it. We got it correct. Anytime we see that purple box show up, that purple box lets us know that we got it correct. It always feels so good. Sometimes I see people in the Discord saying whenever they see that purple box, it feels good. So that is the correct answer, 330.3 grams. And upon submission, we're going to be awarded 1 point on the community scoreboard. So we're going to say submit. And there we go. We got it correct. So let me know in the comments, let me know down below, how you did it, if you did it the same way or if you took kind of a different decision tree. Let me know if you learned any cool tips and tricks. But now we are back here to the live app during this live stream. And while I was solving that, 11 people in the chat went through and solved that model as well. So congratulations to everybody who was able to get through and who was able to solve that. And let's take a look at our first 42 and see who the first person was to solve that model. So we see here that the model was released at 1:33 p.m. and it was Victor K, CSWE Victor. Victor was our world champion of 3D CAD speed modeling using SolidWorks back in 2023. Well, now Victor has converted over to Onshape and his speed continues. Just goes to show that it's just as much the wizard as it is the wand. And Victor was able to complete that model 3 minutes and 46 seconds from the time it was released. Victor was followed here by Gray, who was using SolidWorks, who finished that model 5 minutes and 57 seconds. Gray from Russia. Very nicely done, my friend. And we see that Rambro's Workshop, another former world champion, finished in 5 minutes 59 seconds, followed here by Matab from Bangladesh. Oh, Rambro's Workshop, of course, using Fusion. It's kind of cool. The top 3 finishers here in our top 42 are using 3 different CAD systems. I like that. So we see here that Matab finished it using SolidWorks 7 minutes and 40 seconds after it was released. We got Black Sad here using Onshape 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Perkins from Ireland, 13 minutes, 27 seconds. Kaska, Latvia, using Onshape, 16 minutes and 35 seconds. We got Jackie from Hong Kong, Onshape, 18 minutes and 20 seconds. Very nicely done. We got Chris Odom here using Onshape, 18 minutes and 36 seconds. We got Kerberos here from Sweden using FreeCAD, our FreeCAD user. Jim Yu in the chat, 18 minutes, 57 seconds. Well done. And then, of course, Nikola Tesla bringing up the rear here using Onshape, 19 minutes and 7 seconds after it was released. Now, the top 100 chart is a little bit different from the first 42 because the top 100 is based on when you clicked go and when you clicked your answer. And so although these answers are going to start out here kind of being in the same order, what you'll see is that over time, someone might overtake CSWE Victor in the top 100 because this is just how fast you click go and then when you put in the answer. And obviously that one's pretty easy to exploit. We're hoping that people are using the honor system and are doing it honestly. But once you solve it the first time, of course, you're going to be able to solve it faster the second time because you know that entire workflow. But this one here, the first 42, this is immutable. This is something where CSWE Victor is always going to be at the top of this leaderboard. So GG to CSWE Victor, who's going to earn that point, who got the correct answer. And GG to everyone who got it. I see Guntis in the chat, also known as Kaska here in the website, and he says, finding the errors after posting the first wrong answer is a lot of fun. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. So GG to everyone, and congratulations to CSWE Victor for earning that second point of today's episode of Model Monday Live. And that correct answer was 330.3 grams. And so congratulations to everybody who tried that one. And guys, if you enjoyed the show today, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to share and reshare. Be sure to join the party. You can support us financially, and we really appreciate it, and it goes a long way by signing up for Practice Models Premium or by joining the YouTube channel. You can also visit us at TooTallToby.com/donate. It's another great way to support the channel. And I want to say congratulations to our winners. I want to say thank you so much to all of you in the chat. You truly are the best chat in the world of competitive 3D CAD speed modeling. And I want to say thank you all so much. We're probably going to be taking off next week. I'm going to be on the road next week. We're going to be camping. So we're probably going to take off. There is a very slim possibility that we might do a surprise live stream. But we'll probably see everybody in 2 weeks. For the next episode next week. I think we're going to be taking off. So I'll look forward to talking to all of you in chat. I'll look forward to talking to all of you in Discord. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. It's always so fun to start out the week doing these Model Monday Live episodes. You guys really help boost the energy and boost the positivity. And I hope you guys really enjoy the rest of your day. Be sure to enjoy this weather, enjoy the summer, enjoy your time with your kids if you have kids out there. Enjoy the time with your parents if you don't have any kids of your own yet, and just enjoy this nice time of year when the weather is so nice. Get outside, enjoy it while you can on the days when it's not too hot, And have a great rest of your Monday. Have a great rest of your week. And I will look forward to seeing everyone in the next episode of Model Monday Live. See you, everybody.